This is the aftermath following two deadly earthquakes in Venezuela, which struck within a minute of each other. Dozens have been killed and hundreds injured. Here's what we know so far. An earthquake with a magnitude of 7.2 struck in the north of Venezuela near the capital Caracas shortly after 6 p.m. local time on Wednesday, when many people were at home celebrating a national holiday. A second 7.5 magnitude quake struck less than a minute later. Buildings have been destroyed, the country's main airport is closed, and the metro system is down. The acting president says the most affected state is La Guaira, which is north of the capital, describing it as a disaster zone. This hotel in La Guaira used to be 10 stories tall. Rescue teams are now searching through the rubble for survivors. The US Geological Survey says thousands of people could have been killed in total.
Mierda, marico.
Shalom, back again with another lesson. And before I begin this lesson, I'd like to begin by first giving all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Recha, Kodash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, who I've learned this truth from. I want to say peace and salutations to you, Akim, you brothers out there laboring, pushing this word out in all truth and in sincerity, presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service. I want to say shalom to you, Akwath, meaning you Israelite sisters that may be listening. I also want to say shalom to you, Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth. You may look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which is the chosen seed line, shalom. So as you can see, these prophecies are not going to stop. They're going to keep coming, and they're going to be coming even stronger and more frequently, right? So, we just seen on the news that they're, in Venezuela, they were just hit with multiple powerful consecutive, meaning one after the other, earthquakes, right? So these are the signs of the times that Yahweh Shai warned us about, right? So just to begin this lesson, I'm going to start in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm going to read from verse 6 because it mentions here, it says, and you see how it's in red letter, so you can see that it's Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So we see all these wars getting ready to start firing up again. You had the ceasefire between Iran, Israel and America. Now the peace talks have all fallen down because they can't stick to their work. These Edomites can't stick to their word, and they're violating, just like they did with the native indigenous of the Americas, all the treaties that they promised, they broke, and they're doing the exact same thing in the so-called Middle East against Iran. They're promising all these things where they'll move, their troops out of the region. They won't attack Lebanon, and so on and so forth. But they're doing exactly that. So Iran is responding, and now they're doing threats of, attacking Iran and starting up the war again. So it says, "Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. see that you be not troubled. And that's the key point. For the elect, don't be troubled by the things that we're seeing or the things that we're hearing, because it says, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So this is supposed to happen. It's prophesied that these things would happen, and we're seeing prophecy playing out. That's why I mentioned that the prophecies that we're seeing will not stop. Verse 7, it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Now, we've just heard that multiple powerful earthquakes have taken place in Venezuela. Again, these prophecies are here, right? It's probably not going to be the last that we hear of these things. These earthquakes are becoming more and more frequent, right? So we're seeing these things taking place. When we read in verse 8, it says, all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So all this is just the beginning of what's getting ready to take place on this earth, right? So as we continue reading, we're going to go into the book of 2nd Ezra, right? So 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and I'll start at verse 17, and we'll read on. So Ezra's, has seen, these visions. He's seen what's going to take place in the end times, right? So here he's saying in verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, right? So Ezra's is seeing that, or is understanding the fact that he will be here in these times. So Ezra's, whoever he is on the earth today, is among us, because he's seeing and witnessing these things as well. But he's saying, woe is me, like destruction is me, It says, who will deliver me in those days? Like, who's going to deliver me out of these troubles that I'm witnessing, that I'm, seeing from these visions? Right? In verse 18, it says, the beginning of sorrows, right? Which we just read in the book of Matthew, that all these are the beginning of sorrows, right? So it's talking about that same time. It says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? So these are talking about the evil days that we're steadily approaching, fastly. That's why we say these prophecies will not stop, because they're going to keep coming thicker and faster and more intense. You see? Verse 19, it says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So all the things that we're witnessing in the earth today, these earthquakes, these wars, all these plagues, these events that are taking place, are all sent, these judgments that are going out, they're all sent as correction tools. They're sent as scourges for amendment, right? So this is why we're witnessing these things in earth, because the earth exceedingly is polluted, right? Matter of fact, let me go back a chapter. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. And I'll read from verse 5. So this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. And it reads, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. You don't think there's going to be a lot of death after the earthquakes in Venezuela? There's definitely, they've already reported that the number of deaths is going to be in the hundreds, if not higher than that, the thousands. Right? This is a powerful earthquake, or powerful earthquakes that have taken place. Right? And the Lord said he would bring these. And if you notice, the common theme here is all talking about death and destruction, plagues. Right? So I'll read verse 5 again. 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 5. And it reads, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. And why is that? Verse 6, it says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Meaning they've done enough, man. The Lord is sick and tired of dealing with the wickedness of this earth, right? So it's all fulfilled. Verse 7, it says, therefore saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. It says, behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just, which are the elect, the saints, the souls of the just complain continually. We're always constantly, jumping on this man for the wickedness. We're constantly jumping on this man for the wickedness that he's portrayed in the earth. And we're complaining continually about the wickedness going on. That's the just, where you have the elect out there on our highways and hedges, prophesying the downfall of this wicked kingdom. You see? And, the beautiful thing about it, right? The beautiful thing about these scriptures is that there's so many warnings, warning our people of the things that are getting ready to take place. So I'm going to go to the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2. I'm going to start from the top, verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the way that the Lord talks to us is through these prophecies. The things that are getting ready to take place in the earth are written of in the scriptures. So when we see the signs, we discern the times and everything that's happening, we bring this and we filter it through the scriptures and warn our people. As it says in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Verse 2, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, it says, and the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So what that's saying is basically is write it in the scriptures, so the people that have the sense, the knowledge, the understanding, can discern the times that we're in, can see it, the signs and all the prophecies taking place in the earth, and then warn the people. Right? That's why it says, make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it, meaning prepare themselves for what's getting ready to happen on this earth, right? We see these earthquakes kicking off. It's talking about famine, in the next couple of months, because of this war over in the so-called Middle East, famines, food prices are set to skyrocket. They're set to go through the roof, right? So a lot of people are going to be forced to do nothing but steal to survive. And then it's going to turn all out chaos, right? Verse 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. And we're getting ready to come across those appointed times that the scriptures talk about. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And through the time, where you have starting with the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have been warning of these times, all the way up till today, even with like-minded brothers out there that are pushing this word out and in all truth and in sincerity have been saying, these events are not going to fail. Prophecy will not stop. It's going to keep coming, and it's going to get more and more intense. It says, though it tarry, though it's taken a long time, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And now we're starting to see that these prophecies are coming to fruition. We're starting to see these things take place in the earth, right? And just like that, these people, these people that don't believe and they scoff and they act like, we're just crazies and, we're in a cult or whatever the case, they may feel, right? This earthquake came suddenly, right? So I'm going to read one last scripture and I'm going to end it off there, because I am on the plantation at the moment. So I need to go shortly, but I'll read one last scripture in the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, but of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. So you don't need me to tell you the season that we're in, when you can see it clearly for yourself. All these prophecies are coming to pass, right? It says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Meaning it's going to come when nobody is prepared. When nobody's expecting it to come is when the day of the Lord is going to take place, right? It says, verse 3, it says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. A lot of those people that were found victims of the earthquakes that just took place in Venezuela, they probably had no idea that this was coming. They probably weren't prepared. They, it just came out of nowhere. Just like a woman who's pregnant, getting ready to give birth, when her water breaks, ain't no stopping that child from coming. That child is gonna be born, right? But it's unexpected, and that's how the Lord's coming, and that's how these earthquakes are coming. That's how it's all going down, So I'm gonna leave it there because I got to get back to the plantation, just on a quick break. But I pray that this lesson has been edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to my elders and apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone who rule well, who I've learned this truth from. I want to say peace and salutations to you hopeful elect out there. And it's on to the next one, Lord willing. Shalom.